In the beginning, there was no time, no sound, no space, only a profound, limitless deep, an ocean of absolute night, churning, formless, and terrifyingly empty. But the darkness was not empty of presence. The Spirit of the Creator moved over the face of the violent waters, a sweeping, invisible wind, hovering, waiting, holding the chaotic deep in perfect tension. And then a command that shattered the silence of eternity. Let there be light. And light erupted, not from a sun, for there was no sun. It was light pure and uncreated, a blinding elemental force that pierced the abyss. It violently pushed back the shadows, drawing a hard, unyielding line between the radiance and the dark. The Creator saw the light, and it was good. This was the first evening and the first morning, the first day. On the second day, the voice spoke again, commanding the crushing, infinite waters. A vast expanse tore the primordial ocean apart. Water was thrust upwards against gravity, forming a massive bruised canopy in the heavens, leaving the raging seas isolated in the depths below. He called this great expanse the sky, a roaring firmament holding back the deep. Then came the third day. The command fell upon the waters below the sky. Gather together, the voice echoed, and let dry ground appear. The oceans boiled, they pulled back in retreat. Colossal mountains of jagged, wet stone tore through the surface of the sea. Valleys plunged deep, and massive continents of barren earth stood defiant against the waves. But the earth was naked, a graveyard of stone and dust. So the voice spoke once more, whispering to the soil, and the earth answered. From the dust erupted life in impossible shades of green. Forests of towering timber spiraled upward. Sprawling vines shattered rocks. Fields of wild, heavy grain stretched across the new continents. Roots gripped the stone like talons. Leaves uncurled to catch the divine light. The world was breathing. On the fourth day, the Creator reached into the canopy of the heavens. To govern the day, he forged a blinding furnace of fire, the sun. To govern the night, a pale, quiet watcher, the moon. And then, from his fingertips, dust scattered across the velvet blackness. Billions of stars ignited, galaxies of sweeping fire, painting the cosmos with light. Signs, seasons, days and years were set into motion. The great clock of the universe had begun to tick. On the fifth day, the barren seas and the empty skies were filled. The waters swarmed with life, massive leviathans gliding silently through the deep, lightless trenches. Schools of shimmering fish weaving through dense, shadowed forests of kelp. And above, the bruised sky was fractured by the beating of 1,000,000 wings. Eagles catching the fierce updrafts, sparrows darting through the ancient, towering pines. The world was no longer just breathing, it was singing.
On the sixth day, the Creator looked upon the dry land. At his word, the earth shook with the heavy, thundering footsteps of beasts. Massive lions pacing the deep shadows, great oxen grazing the savannas, creatures of every kind pulling themselves from the untamed wild. The earth was full, the wild was complete, but the masterpiece was yet to come.
The Creator did not speak from afar. He bent down into the soil. Working with the thick mud and the dust of the ground, he shaped a form. Flesh from mud, bone from stone. A vessel crafted in his own image, in the image of the divine. But it was still just dust, cold, heavy clay. Until the Creator leaned close and breathed the violent, warm breath of life into his lungs. And the man gasped for air. He opened his eyes. His name was Adam, the first son of the earth. Naked, covered in the dirt from which he was born, he stood up. He looked upon a world perfectly prepared, illuminated by a light of overwhelming grace. God saw all that he had made, and it was very good. And on the seventh day, the Creator rested, not out of exhaustion, but to dwell in the staggering beauty of his work. A day of absolute peace, the crowning jewel of creation. The elements were calm, the earth was silent. The canvas was finished, the story of the universe had been written, but the story of humanity had just begun.